Good evening and welcome to the Monarchs preview show. Slightly different format this week in that due to a few technical issues we're going a little bit more audio maybe rather than video. But I'm joined here by mechanic extraordinaire Steven Lumsden and a long-term Monarchs fan as well. How are you, Steven?
Yeah, good mate. Thank you.
So just looking back at last weekend first, a tough weekend for the boys. They got out at 2 draws and obviously anyone that knows you'll know you're Josh's mechanic. A tough weekend for Josh as well.
Yeah, it's certainly the hardest weekend we've had. A few crashes. Tough night. I think we found the main issue. But we'll bounce back. We'll be a lot stronger, a lot better.
And I don't know how much of the meeting obviously you get to see when you're working in the pits, but certainly one that we did seem to be back on form, particularly at Newcastle, was Max. What was the feeling in the pits with Max? I mean, I spoke to him after the match at Newcastle and he seemed to be buzzing, certainly as high as I've seen him all season. What was it you thought that brought that change on?
I don't know, to be honest. It's hard to put your finger on it. I mean, he certainly was a different rider. He was getting unbelievably well and held his positions well. I mean, he held off. Obviously, Sam teamrode him for quite a bit. I think it was Stevie Worrell. It was in the heat. The buffer managed to hold him off for a bit. Stevie unfortunately got past Sam, if it was indeed Stevie. But by that point, Max was gone. So yeah, he was absolutely superb. It was great to see him back to what he's more than capable of.
And as mentioned there, I caught up with Max earlier on this week just to ask him what had changed and what his feelings were for the weekend ahead. So we'll hear from Max now. So we're joined by Max Clegg here on the Monarchs preview show. So thanks very much for joining us, Max.
Yeah, thank you.
So firstly, obviously we'll go back to last Sunday, your first match drop at the reserve. I think everyone hoped that would lead to an increase in points, but I don't know if anyone paid 15 coming. What was it, the catalyst for the change there?
Yeah, it was a fantastic meeting. I dropped out reserve. It made it a lot easier for me, and I had a good first race. And that kind of set me for the whole meeting, really. I didn't do much to the bike. I changed them from my last ride when I ran them two thirds, and then I went out with another win. So I was, to be honest, I was over the moon. I was delighted to, score how many I did. So I just need to keep it going now and move on to this week and to Friday.
And it's one thing, I know a few of the guys have been complaining a little bit with clutch setups or maybe the new tyres for grip. One thing that was noticeable was how quick you were out to start. So on Sunday, was it the same setup you've been using all season and something just clicked, or was there anything that was slightly different than that?
No, I've changed my setup to what I had last year when I was going quite well. I don't know why I changed. If you have a few bad meetings, you want to change something to try and get back to winning ways, and I changed too much on my bike, so I changed everything. And still wasn't working, so I was scratching my head a little bit. But I went back to basics, and it seemed to work. I felt good at the start. I felt good on track. I felt a bit slow in the ones where I ran a third, but like I said, I made a few changes to the bike in the meeting, and it worked treating my last one. So always going back to basics can always be good.
And you mentioned that there'll be a slight change of outlook going back to reserve, getting that slightly easier first ride. Is that something that you feel benefits you even when you're against the guys you were maybe racing before, that you've got that confidence that you've maybe had a heat win or 2 heat wins by the time you face these guys again?
Yeah, definitely. Obviously when I was at 4, I was having a bad first race, and it sticks in your head for most of the meeting, as it showed. If you get a good first race, like I say, it sets you up for the meeting, and that's what I did at Newcastle. But all year I've had a bad first race, and I've had a bad meeting. So it was good to get a win in my first race, and like I say, it set me up for the meeting.
And I think obviously your performance was key in us coming away with the draw, which was quite key, having dropped a couple of points at home to Glasgow on the Friday night. So obviously we're still sitting top of the league. How is the feeling in the camp?
Yeah, it's fantastic. It's awesome team spirit this year. We're all having a laugh and out of Speedway and out of Speedway. So it's really good, to be honest. I'm very happy to be a part of it this year, and I'm happy that Edinburgh stuck by me, when I was having bad meetings. For that I'm very grateful.
And I think you could see, I was at Newcastle myself, and the outpour and the cheers from the fans, that there's no one happier than yourself or the fans that you're back showing what you're capable of. Is that something that helps as well, that the fans were always behind you?
Yeah, definitely. You can't do it without the fans. They've been brilliant. I had some very good comments after Sunday's meeting. That's always appreciated. It's always nice reading, what people are saying to you, and giving you good comments and stuff. And that's always a pleasure reading. That helps you as well. So yeah.
And then moving on to this weekend, another tough weekend ahead. Newcastle, traditionally very good visitors to Armadale, with some tough riders on that team. Yep,
definitely. It'll be a tough meeting. We did good to get a draw out of Sunday, so hopefully we can get a win. But like you said, there's the riders in there all the way around Edinburgh, so we're in for a tough one. But all the boys will give it 100%, and we're all up for it for sure.
And then moving on to Workington on Sunday, is that a track that you enjoy?
I've never really gone well down there, as people know, but I'm actually really confident for Sunday. I'm actually really looking forward to it. So hopefully I can solve my big track issues on Sunday and get a few points in my bag.
And then also looking at the season as a whole, you're probably used to being a little busier than you are just now. Having doubled up or within the National League in the past. Are you hoping that results like last Sunday, build on it with a good weekend? This weekend you can put yourself back in the short window to start doubling up or get some more team places again?
Yeah, definitely. I've been really quiet this year, which isn't good. Last year I was so busy, and then to be doing one league this year, it's a bit different. But hopefully I could get another team spot. Maybe two, never know. You never know, maybe do all three again at some point. Who knows? But, that's definitely my plan anyway, try and get another team and, get back racing, more bike time, it's better. So, obviously I race on Sunday and then I'm not racing now on Friday. So I've done all week without a meeting. So, it'd be nice to get a few more meetings under the belt, so yeah.
Perfect. Well, thanks very much for your time today, Max, and all the best for the weekend ahead.
Yeah, thank you very much.
And thanks very much to Max for joining us on the preview show there. So, moving on to this weekend, Stephen, another tough weekend ahead. Newcastle, our team, famous for their good performances at Armadale and full Armadale experts. Then another trip into the unknown maybe for Josh at Workington on Sunday.
Yeah, I thought personally, I believe that Workington will be a track that will really suit Josh. So I'm looking forward to that. He's not had any issues on the bigger tracks before. Cookie will be a different. Although I believe we've moved riding order now. I think we're riding at number 4. So yeah, really looking forward to that one. Newcastle on Friday, tomorrow. Yeah, as I say, we've sorted the issues. I think we'll be. I think we'll have quite a good weekend.
Perfect, yeah, same offers for that. And another man I caught up with this week, looking ahead at this week's fixtures, was Newcastle promoter and team manager George English, and so we'll hear from George now. So I'm now joined by Newcastle promoter George English here on the Monarchs TV show, so thank you very much for your time and joining us, George.
No problem at all.
So firstly, maybe looking back at last Sunday, a strange match. From a Diamonds point of view, would you view that as points dropped, have it been 8 points ahead, or points gained, have it been 4 points down going into the last race?
Absolutely points dropped. We should have won that match, and I think we should have won it fairly comfortably. It was a disappointing night for us all around. The track was not good. It hasn't been like that all year, and it caught, as it's always the case whenever there's an issue with a track, it's always the home team that affects more than the away team. But still, we should have been able to cope with that, and we let ourselves down, I think, on Sunday.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think anyone, and I've spoken to Max about this as well, but I don't think anyone could expect the performance of Max Clegg.
No, especially if you'd seen him before night before in the British semi-final. You would certainly not have expected that, but I think a lot of it was down to circumstances on Sunday. But Max did very, very well. Take nothing away from him. He's back down at reserve now. Hopefully for his own career, that'll build his confidence up and he can get back on track, because he was certainly struggling in the 1 to 5 at the start of the season.
Yep. And then moving on to this week's meeting, and maybe we can try a little bit of revenge. There must be confidence in the camp. I think, looking back at the history, the Newcastle Diamonds have the best visiting record in the Armadale era, and a team full Armadale pedigree as well. Yeah,
I mean, obviously we're without Robert Lambert this weekend, which is a bit unfortunate, but he's away in the World Under-21s. But Aaron Swimmers will come in and guest for him. The rest of the side are all looking forward to the match. We do have to try and pick up points at reserve, which is our weak point at the moment. But if Ben Hopwood can make a few gates, and maybe he can pick up a few points like he did and shocked Edinburgh last Sunday.
I think so, and certainly Hopwood's one that does have a bit of experience around Armadale. I guess it for us.
He certainly does.
If not a few times, and he always impressed actually. So I think he could be a target reserve. You're right. Looking at the team as well, there's been a little bit of discussion, particularly on some of the internet forums, maybe people that aren't in the know about Stevie Worrell. A few people maybe expect him to ride for Bellevue. He's certainly riding at Armadale. What are the legalities behind that? And is it Newcastle that have priority over him this season?
No, it's basically this season only. Special arrangements were put into place at the start of the year when the fixtures could not be even progressed slightly, because nobody knew what was happening with Coventry, Leicester and Bellevue, and the General Council put special arrangements into place so that fixtures could actually be sorted out. And for this year only, there is a special arrangement, which means that those riders who had already been signed for clubs, and Steve Worrell would sign for us not this year but last year, his terms were agreed immediately after the end of the 2016 season. So we had no idea whether Bellevue were going to run. We had no idea whether Bellevue were going to sign Steve, because obviously they didn't use Richie. So it was unfair on riders who had already got contracts with clubs. So this special arrangement was put into place, which allows Steve to ride at Armadale on Friday evening.
Excellent. And that's a bonus for Newcastle and for both sets of fans. Stevie, an ex-Monarch, always well received, and certainly there's some top battles between him, Ricky and Sam.
Yeah, I mean, Steve's class outfit. He's very much a top ender these days. He'll battle all season with Robert Lambert like they did last year. They seesawed between the number 1 position at Newcastle, and I expect the same thing to happen this season.
And we touched on Ben Hopwood a little bit earlier on. Obviously, he's come into the team to replace the injured Danny Phillips, the Lishman best. Is there any further update on Danny maybe another week down the line?
Yeah, Danny's back at home now, thankfully. It's now just a case of a long healing process. He's had the operation on his leg. There's 3 pins being put into the femur. So he basically has to put no weight at all on that leg for quite a lengthy period. The back is just being allowed to heal naturally now. I felt it wasn't worth the operation. So it's just a case of him being patient and recovering properly, and hopefully we'll be back next season raring to go.
Excellent. And then just finally, looking at the season as a whole, more down to the fixture list than anything else. It's been a little bit of a slow start for the Diamonds. Obviously, had the British Semi, as we've mentioned, a week missing to allow for the Newcastle United football team clinching the league. Are you looking kind of to build on now and start building some momentum? Sitting probably not where you want in the league, but if you actually look at points gained out of the fixtures you've raced, you would be right up there in the playoff battle. Yeah.
I mean, obviously we're in a bit of a false position at the moment, so we know we have got a lot of fixtures to come. The point of a lot of fixtures, though, is that you have to make sure you take the points from them, and that is our challenge for the rest of the season, is to get a bit of momentum going, get some meetings raced. The likes of Ashley Morris is hardly turning a wheel these days because of the rules this year. Don't allow him to ride in the National League as well, which is a real shame for him. He's really struggling with outings. But yeah, we need to get the meetings in. We need to get some momentum, and I'm sure we'll be slowly climbing that table.
Perfect. Well, thank you very much for your time this morning, George, and all the best over the weekend and the rest of the season.
No problem. Thank you very much.
Perfect. Thank you. Thanks very much to George for his time there. Now, actually, the interview took place on Thursday morning when both Edinburgh and George, as you would have heard from the interview there, thought that Stevie Worrell would be racing for the Diamonds. Obviously, that's no longer the case. The BSB have determined that he should ride for Bellevue. So unfortunately, we won't have Stevie at Armadale tomorrow night. His place being taken by Thomas Jorgensen, a very adequate guest. We'll now move on to our particular usual feature. It's Mike Hunter's Blast from the Past. And we'll have another 2 races from the archives here, involving some well-known faces in the likes of Derek Snedden, Sean Stoddart, and Callie Catayisco.
Gate number 8, it's Sean Stoddart on gate 1, and he's certainly impressed so far. He's unbeaten at this stage. Derek Snedden in gate 2, that's a change for Andrew Tully, who's been well out of touch. Ross Brady's in gate 3 and Henrik Muller in gate 4. Brady's away, Snedden's there as well, and it's Brady who eases his way around the dirt. Muller comes through into second. I think Muller's changed his Kevlars. I wonder if he was finding the others too tight. Muller's starting to look a bit more aggressive. This is much more like it from him. He's on Brady's tail there. He's trying to work the dirt. Swings to the outside, trying to go right round the outside of Brady. Just missed it. Almost ran into the back of him there, but again, he's still keeping in touch. Inside on the line that Matthew Weathers fell on, and Muller charging down the straight now, and he's gone ahead into the final turn. This could be one of Muller's best wins. That was terrific. At last, some fight, and a super ride by Henrik Muller there to get the better of Ross Brady in a very good race. That was overdue as well after 7 processional ones. Derek Snedden takes the third, so the Monarchs cut the gap to 2. And hopefully that'll show the way to some of the others. Heat 11, Ronnie Bach, Callie Catayisco, Derek Snedden very close in there, and Ashley Morris. Heading away to a storming start. Ashley Morris well out of it there. Terrible first corner, and it's Catayisco who's putting in the challenge. He's got in between the 2 diamonds. He's got fast man Bach though on his outside. Good turn by Callie there. He's got himself in front of Bach. What can he do about Snedden? Which way is he going to go? It's the big blast for Callie. And has he got round? I believe he has. Magnificent riding by Catayisco, the race of the night by a mile. Oh, but he's almost into the fence there. That gives Snedden his chance to come back. Oh, what brave riding by Catayisco. He's recovered. Fantastic. He knows no fear, this man. Snedden's not given up. He's riding superbly. Morris has got onto the tail of Bach incredibly, and what a win that is by Callie Catayisco to keep the scores level. That was sensational racing. Well, he was the sensation of last year, and he's pulled off by far the best move tonight. It had all looked a bit tame up to that point, but what a ride by Callie Catayisco.
Thanks once again to Mike for providing the exciting races there, and here's to more of the same tomorrow night. So Stephen, thank you very much for your time and for joining us on the preview show here. Look forward to another successful weekend, and I'm sure we'll catch up with you as the season goes on.
Nice one.
Thank you. And so that's us for the preview show for tonight. Thank you very much for joining us. We'll hope to be back to normal for our usual Friday focus show on Saturday morning, and certainly for the preview show next week. All that's left for me to say is that tickets are available on the website at a discounted rate up until midnight tonight, and hopefully we'll see you all at Armadale on Friday evening.